So I'm just going to take a quick opportunity while I'm at the board to talk about panning and how I look at it. So first of all, as I'm facing the board, I look at it like I'm in the club or the hall or wherever, concert hall, witnessing the band. So if I'm looking at the band, 9 times out of 10, the drummer's right-handed, the hi-hat is going to be on what I consider the right side of the stage. The bass player is 9 times out of 10 on the right side of the drummer. Then you fill it out forward, obviously the singer in the front and the middle. Depending on where I played guitar, I was always on the ride cymbal side. You could have keyboards to the left of that. You could have fiddle, steel on these sides, and bring out your instruments on the wings. So that's how it appears to me in panning. Now, in doing that, personally, because I'm not a big fan of cymbals, I will take the hi-hat and pan it all the way, in my perspective, hard right. So the hi-hat's going to be over here and as audible as is necessary. Everything else lines up pretty much the way I told you. Kick and snare is on the bottom, vocals on the top. Everything rides within that framework. I'm one to take any solos, and once the singer disappears from the middle, I will pan the solo over to the middle so that you don't lose the attention of the listener. So the listener, we're getting him to focus on the singer and the singer's personality. When the singer stops singing, I don't want them to have to fade away to a different part of the pan to listen to something that's trying to describe the song. So it would be a solo. I would move the solo to the middle, then move it back to its place. The other thing about panning that I discovered a long time ago on the board, we'll show this with an insert later, but when you use this section of the board to bring in your outboard delays or reverbs, whatever, there's also panning on here, and there is also a host of EQ that can be worked with, and you can actually do some more radical EQing depending on how you use your effects, where you can add some oomph and bass to the track. You can take some top off of it so that you're affecting the track, but not as effective as if you would be doing it on the actual instrument. And so be aware of panning. So if you have a reverb, say, that's panned hard left and right, and then you go over here to your guitar section and you want to put some reverb that you've brought in from here onto the guitar, and you add in the reverb, that guitar is going to appear hard left and right. Now, if you don't want that to happen, you're going to have to dedicate a pan and an outboard gear for that guitar to make it sit with the guitar. So if the guitar was a little bit off center, or let's say on the ride cymbal side, if it was off center to the left, I may pan exactly where the guitar is and then pan hard to the left, so the guitar sees reverb and the reverb moves out of the pan visual. It moves away from it instead of moving into it or coming across it or having any other conflict with it. So panning effects with the instrument is something that you should consider on how you do that. Otherwise, you can plenty of guys have had it spread across the whole spectrum. You know, there's not any one way to do it. That's just the way I like to do it. Panning.